Hey, what's up, everybody? Just wanted to do an update with the news and updates on RGBA Riverside. Uh, Here's a picture of Mikey along with one of the prospects from Southern California. His name is Muratalla, Ray Danger Muratalla from Fontana. He fought out at the Pachanga Casino a couple of weeks ago in Temecula, California. Mikey Garcia, 39-1, 30 knockouts. There was rumors that he'd be fighting Danny Garcia. Um, but there's nothing there. That fight has not been announced. So he went up to Snack and got into shape. He spent 4 or 5 weeks up there along with his nephew Izaac Garcia. But now he's back, staying active in the gym 2 to 3 days a week. So if you want to follow him on all the updates on Mikey, you can follow him at Team Mikey Garcia. Abner Mares, 31-3-1. No update on him. He is recovering from a detached retina that he suffered in sparring, and he regularly does commentary for PBC. So if you want to follow him, he's at Abner Mares or at Abner Mares Official on Instagram. Josesito Lopez, 36-8. There's rumors of him possibly having a fight with Adrian Broner, but nothing's been announced. If you want to follow him, he's at Jose Lopez on Instagram. Jose Carlos Ramirez has a fight in 2 weeks in Dallas. He's 24-0, 16 knockouts. He's the current WBC 140 champion. So he's in a unification bout with Maurice Tucker. Maurice Tucker has a title, I don't know if it's the WBO or the WBA, but he has one of the other belts at 140. So if you want to follow Jose Carlos Ramirez at JC Ramirez 2012. He's promoted by Top Rank. Brandon Bam Bam Rios, 35-5-1. He suffered a 12-round loss against La Sofrita Soto in February of this year in Tijuana, Baja California. If you want to follow him, he's at Brandon Rios 1. Esquiva Falcao, 23-0, 15 knockouts. He is a silver Olympic medalist from Brazil. He probably in the most important fight of his career. He is fighting July 19th on a Friday in Maryland on the Teofimo Top Rank card. And he called out a couple weeks ago Ryota Murata, who just won his fight this weekend. So if he wins this fight this Friday, then they are on a collision course. And Murata is the new WBA middleweight champion. So Esquiva Falcao with a big fight in front of him. Hopefully he can capitalize and get the win and look impressive. That way the fight with Murata will give him a championship title opportunity. So Esquiva Falcao, 23-0, 15 knockouts. He fights for Top Rank, fights at middleweight. He is a southpaw, so he trained. He helped Mikey prepare for his fight against. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? Errol the Truth Spence. So if you want to follow him, he's at Esquiva Falcao. Erick DeLeon, 19-0, 10 knockouts. His fight has been moved off that Top Rank card in Maryland. He was scheduled to fight Jason El Canito Sosa, but I think it's been pushed back a week or more. I didn't write down the date that I saw advertised it being pushed back to, so I will get that news and then update it soon. At Team DeLeon 1, if you want to follow him, he's been fighting at 130 all his career. So there's a possibility he might be moving up to 135. He is a very dedicated fighter. I was very impressed seeing him in the gym. You know, most guys go in and do their boxing workout, but Erick DeLeon is very dedicated, does very self-motivated, and does a lot of workouts for his abs and staying in his conditioning on his own. So Erick DeLeon, 19-0, he's from Detroit, Michigan, and he's promoted by Top Rank. His family's from Sabina, Mexico. So at Team DeLeon 1, if you want to follow him. Carlos Caballo Bronco Adames improved to 18-0 with 14 knockouts. He fights at 154. He's the current NABF and NABO champion. He fought in Pachanga June 28th in Temecula, California on a top-ranked card. If you want to follow him, he's at Caballo Bronco. He's one of the newest additions to the gym, to RGBA in Riverside. He is Dominican. He is from the Dominican Republic. At Caballo Bronco on Instagram if you want to follow him. Hector Tanajara, 17-0, 5 knockouts. He has a fight date in Grand Prairie, Texas, August 10th. He will be on stablemate Vergil Ortiz Jr.'s fight card. Undercard, his opponent is Ezequiel Aviles, 16-3 from Ensenada, Baja California. If you want to follow Hector, he is at Hector_Tanajara. If you want to follow his dad, I believe it's Hector Tanajara Sr. on Instagram as well. Hector Tanajara is promoted by Goldenberg Promotions. He fights at 135. He is the current WBC youth champion. Jackson El Phoenix Marinez, 17-0, 5 knockouts, is a super lightweight, also from the Dominican Republic, just like Caballo. He has a fight date, and I will update that as soon as I get that information. So if you want to look him up on Instagram, he's El Phoenix or Team Phoenix. Jonathan Thunder Navarro, 16-0, 8 knockouts. He has been seen getting some mitt work at a different gym other than RGBA Riverside. So I don't know if there's been a split there or not. More news to come on that as soon as that comes to light. But he is a fighter who's had all his 16 professional fights with Robert Porpita in his corner. He goes by Thunder Navarro. He's from East LA. He fights at 140. He's promoted by Golden Boy Promotions. He was signed back in 2015 along with Joshua El Profesor Franco. There you see him in the picture with, and Hector Tanajara as well. So at Thunder Navarro, if you want to follow him, 16-0, 8 knockouts. And maybe he's still part of the team, and it's a lot easier, you know, to get where he's originally from East LA. So maybe it's just the drive. So Jonathan Thunder Navarro, 16-0, 8 knockouts. Joshua El Profesor Franco, 15-1-1. He is getting the trilogy with Oscar Negrete. They had a draw at the hangar, and then they had and then Joshua took the win in Indio. So this will be their third fight. And on that second fight, Joshua earned the WBA International title and NABF belt at 118. So this is on the Vergil Ortiz card in Grand Prairie, Texas, in Dallas on August 10th. Joshua Professor Franco, 15-1-1. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at @1Professor Franco. Carlos Licona, 14-1, 2 knockouts. He is from Westminster. His family's from La Ciudad de Mexico. So he has a fight on July 26th in Cancun Promotions in Guadalajara, and he will be fighting for the international WBC title. So if you want to follow him, he's at Mexicanito12 on Instagram. He held titles at 105. He held the IBF title and the WBO Latino belt, and now he's going for a WBC belt at 108, if I'm not mistaken. So at Mexicanito12, if you want to follow him on Instagram. Vergil Ortiz Jr., one of the hottest prospects out of the gym, fights at 140, could easily fight at 147. His last fight was at 147 against Mauricio Herrera, where he looked very, very impressive, stopping him. So he is headlining his own show August 10th in Grand Prairie. His opponent is a very solid name, San Diego's Antonio Orozco, 28-1, who is a southpaw, who just his last fight and his only loss is to Vergil's stablemate Jose Carlos Ramirez. So Vergil, 13-0, 13 knockouts from Grand Prairie. He's trained by his dad, Vergil Sr., Hector Beltran, his strength and conditioning coach, and Robert Pita and the whole RGBA team, including the Big G and Chepe Contreras. So Vergil Ortiz, very, very hot. August 10th, homecoming fight at Vergil Ortiz if you want to follow him on Instagram. At Vergil Ortiz Sr. if you want to follow his dad, and then Hex Beltran if you want to follow his strength and conditioning coach. Joseph Adorno improves to 13-0, 11 knockouts. He fought this Saturday in New Jersey, and he looked very impressive. So he gets one more win on his record and gets another knockout on his record as well. So the main event was Shakur Stevenson. Joseph Adorno, 13-0. He's from Allentown, Pennsylvania. He is promoted by Top Rank. at Real Joseph Adorno on Instagram if you want to follow him. John El Terrible Bauza, 13-0, 5 knockouts, also improves to 13-0, was on that same card in New Jersey on the Shakur Stevenson card, on the Top Rank card. So at Real John Bauza, he is also promoted by Top Rank, and he fights at 140. At Real John Bauza if you want to follow him on Instagram. Louie Coria, 12-2. He got his last win on Legends Collide, June 23rd here in San Bernardino. He fights under the banner of Mikey Garcia Promotion. He is a local kid from Moval. He is doing strength and conditioning classes out of his garage. So if you want to follow him, he's at King Louis 416. Lindolfo Delgado, 10-0, 10 knockouts. His last fight was June 1st in Linares. He is promoted by Richard Schaefer's Ringstar Sports. He fights at 140. He's one of the Big G's favorite fighters out of the gym. There you see him with the Big G on Mikey's undercard versus Errol Spence and Chepe to the right. So if you want to follow him, he's at Lindolfo Delgado. He fights at 140. He's promoted by Ringstar Sports. Alejandro Porkchop Guerrero, 10-0, 9 knockouts. He was scheduled to headline the Garcia Promotions event this Saturday, but for some reason or another, I don't know the details, he pulled out of the fight. I know he's become a dad recently. He has a baby, so him and his girlfriend or wife have a baby. So Alejandro Porkchop Guerrero, 10-0, 9 knockouts. If you want to follow him, he's at Porkchop_214. I believe he fights at 135. Brandon Bulletproof Glanton improves to 10-0. He was on if I'm not mistaken, was it a PPC card in Minnesota? It might be. July 13th, improved to 10-0, 7 knockouts. He's fighting under the banner of Mikey Garcia Promotions as well. So if you want to follow him, he's at Team Bulletproof. I believe he fights at 175 or heavyweight. Misael El Chino Rodriguez, 9-0, 4 knockouts. He's been out of the gym for a year. He spent 4 or 5 months on a reality show in Mexico called Exalton, and then he came back in January, and it's been hard to land him a fight. So, but he's very active. The weight is down. He's very active in the gym. So maybe in August they'll get something lined up. At Misael Lote on Instagram if you want to follow him. He is he's an Olympian from Mexico, promoted by Richard Schaefer's Ringstar Sports. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, 2 weeks away from his fight, for, let me see, 11 days. Yeah, 11 days left. 11 days away from headlining his own show. Unfortunately, this is the same date as the Dallas show between Maurice Hooker and Jose Carlos Ramirez. So hopefully, I don't know who's going to be in whose corner. So I'll leave that up to Robert to disclose whenever they want. So Jesse Bam Rodriguez, 9-0, 5 knockouts. He's a little brother to Joshua Franco. He's from San Antonio. He signed to Mr. Honda's Tekken Promotion, and then the Floresville, Texas is very near San Antonio. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at 210BAM, and he also has his stablemate Biggie Rodriguez, Robert Biggie Rodriguez from San Antonio, if I'm not mistaken, also on his card. So Jesse Bam Rodriguez, the biggest fight, one of the biggest fights of his career. He's fighting another undefeated fighter, Cesar El Chapita Garcia, 11-0. So we look forward to this coming up. Genaro El Conde Gamez, 9-0, 6 knockouts. Robert seemed very, very excited to get this extremely talented boxer in the ring. His fight date is August 22nd, 2019. He's promoted by Golden Boy Promotions, but he's been a little bit inactive. He's had a fight recently, but it's very important to get him back in the ring. So Genaro El Conde Gamez on Instagram, he's at Genaro Gamez. I believe he fights at 135, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. One of the newest additions to the team, Aaron McKenna and his brother Stevie McKenna. Aaron is 8-0. He fights at 147. There you see him sparring Jose Carlos Ramirez as he prepares for Maurice Hooker. He has a fight date. That's this Thursday. Today's Tuesday. The 16th, 17th, Wednesday, 18th, Thursday. So he'll be fighting in 2 days. at the Fantasy Springs Casino in Indio. Aaron McKenna, 8-0, 5 knockouts, 147. It was just announced last week that they joined Team RGBA. There was tons of videos of not tons of videos, but there was tons of pictures out there that that these guys were constantly over in Riverside, giving Jose Carlos Ramirez work and sparring and other fighters. So it all makes sense. And I'll add his Instagram next time I do an update. Ray Danger Muratalla, 8-0, 5 knockouts. His last fight was 628. So improving and moving along. He is one of the local fighters. He's from Fontana, California. So his Instagram is at Ray_Muratalla1. Aaron Morales, 7-0, 3 knockouts. His last fight was at the Boba Casino, June 1st on the TGB promoted card. If you want to follow him on Instagram, it's at Aaron_Morales, 7-0, 3 knockouts. I believe Aaron fights at 118. Jose Ruben Rodriguez, 7-0, 2 knockouts. His last fight was also with Caballo and with Ray Danger Muratalla in Pachanga. So he improved to 7-0. He's got 2 knockouts. He fights at 140. He's from Indio. He originally came out of the Joel Diaz training, but now has moved over to train under Robert with RGBA. So if you want to follow him, he's at RubenNR_. Brian Lua from Top Rank, 5-0, 2 knockouts. No updates on him, at Brian_Lua. Ivan Garcia, another local fighter that has just recently joined the team. All his professional fights have been in Mexico. He fights at 118. He's from Paris, which is the Riverside area. 5-0, 5 knockouts. I believe he fights at 118 as well. So if you want to follow him on Instagram, it's at Ivan_Garcia. Replace the A in Ivan with the number 3. So Ivan Garcia, 5-0, 5 knockouts. Keep an eye out on him. Breenan B-Fly Macias got the second draw in his record, 3-0 and 2. He just fought this Friday on the Garcia Promotions card in Irving, Texas, at the Southern Junction nightclub. So 3-0 and 2. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at B_Fly301 from Goodyear, Arizona. Breenan B-Fly Macias. Robert Rodriguez will be on fighting in 11 days against on the undercard of his stablemate Bam Rodriguez. So the fight is in Floresville, which is very near San Antonio. At BiggyJR_ if you want to follow him on Instagram. Izaac Colunga, there's been rumors that he might be coming back to Cali from his from the rehabilitation center that he's at in Denver, Colorado. So prayers out to him. The event was a huge success. They had tons of people came, tons of vendors. The exhibition was a success. The fight card was a success. So if you want updates on Izaac Colunga, you can follow his mom at Carrie Colunga on Instagram, his aunt Shelly_Shell12, or a family friend Dodger Girl 19. So and he's active on his Instagram now. So if you want to follow him, he's at Team_Colunga. Izaac Colunga. Prayers for Colunga. Isaac Strong. Alexis El Macizo Espino, 3-0, 2 knockouts. He just fought June 29th, and he already has his next date of August 22nd. He is promoted by Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing. He is from Las Vegas. He fights. He's trying to get down to 160. He fought at 168. He's made it down to 165. Now he's working on getting it down to 160. So from Las Vegas, Alexis El Macizo Espino, 3-0, 2 knockouts. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's at _Alexis Espino 1. Stevie McKenna fights at 140. Here you see him with Jose Carlos Ramirez. He has a fight date in Pasadena. The matchmaker is Javier Razo and Robert Diaz. So more information coming on that. He's 2-0 with 2 knockouts. Stevie McKenna, brother with Aaron McKenna, who are new to Team RGBA. So I will add his Instagram on the next time around. Jeremy Magic Hands Adorno, 1-0. He is the little brother to Blessed Hands Adorno, who just fought this Saturday. So he's got a fight lined up in Philadelphia on August 10th. I believe he fights at 122. Jeremy Magic Hands Adorno. Ivan Sanchez out of the Central Valley RGBA, 5-0, 3 knockouts. He's a welterweight. His family, along with Al Perez, run the Central Valley RGBA. So if you want to follow him, he's at Real Evan Sanchez. Manny Flores had his RGBA fight debut on Legends Collide on June 23rd, so he improved to 8-0. He might be 9-0 now. I think I got to update that record. I think or maybe he was 7-0 now. He improved to 8-0. Manny Flores fights at 118 bantamweight. Here you see him as he was helping as a southpaw. He was helping Abner Mares prepare for Tank Davis, a fight that fell out in February because of a detached retina that Abner Mares suffered. So if you want to follow Manny Flores on Instagram, he's at Gucci Manny. Alfredo Escarcega, 8-0, 4 knockouts. He had his RGBA debut as well. He was brought in to help Mikey Garcia in preparation for Errol Spence Jr., and now he's developed a relationship with RGBA. There you see the RGBA logo on his shorts. Alfredo Escarcega came in from F1 Gym in Phoenix, Arizona. He is from the same gym that B-Fly is from. So congrats to him, 8-0, 4 knockouts. If you want to follow him on Instagram, he's ae.jr. So in the first quarter, RGBA was 24-4-1. Second quarter, they went undefeated, 19-0. Third quarter, 3-0-1. That one is B-Fly's draw. So their professional record for the year is 46-4-2. Their amateur record is 16-4. They have been at 5 different amateur tournaments. One in Pomona, Arlanza, El Monte, San Diego, and now Menifee. So I think the amateur record is 16-4. I got to check with Pita Garcia to verify that as well. So thank you to all the photographers, to Cumbia, the photographer, the official photographer of RGBA, and thank you to all the fighters, trainers, and managers who post on their IGs to let us, the fans, stay updated on Team RGBA. So a special shout out to Eddie Setback, Vergil Ortiz Jr., Frank Tick One, and Tees by Rainbow. They do a lot of they go live on their Instagram, they go live on their YouTube, and they give us an opportunity to see a lot of behind the scenes and a lot of updates and news about, when their upcoming fights are going to be and all that good information. So thank you to all of them. I'm Sonteo Media. On YouTube, you can follow me on Twitter, and you can follow me on Instagram, Sonteo_media. Hope you liked the video. More videos coming soon.